Energized show, up the Irish.
Okay, what's going on, guys, and welcome to a brand new episode of Energized. Ross, introduce the guest, man.
Today we have two of the finest men from SBG Tullamore. We have Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt wizard Kieran Davern and the king of hell, Andrew Barrett. Lads, how are we doing?
Doing great, lads. Doing great.
That's what we'd like to hear, lads. We have you on here because Ireland is bringing us a 23-man and woman strong team across the IMMAF and the Euros over in Italy. There's 17 fighters and 6 coaches. Andrew, how delighted were you to make the team?
Well, over the moon. Like when I was able to, the way that nationals work, where we're actually fighting for it, I think that's the fairest way to handle it, and it's also the best way to prepare us for it. Fighting day in, day out, just like IMMAFs, making weight just like IMMAFs. Honestly, it's just going to be deja vu stepping in there when we're competing in Europe.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Kieran, obviously this is going to be the first time Andrew goes to an IMMAF event, but he's built for this, isn't he?
Yeah, 100%. He's built for it. He's like, obviously we know what, like, say, type of person and fighter Andrew is, because we're with him every day for the last 10 years and that. But say for anyone that didn't know, they got to see like a glimpse of him, especially in January, February at the Nationals. Yeah. And for him to do what he did 3 days in a row and have that war in the middle. He just has the mindset, like, say, regardless of skill level, he has the mind, because it's down to mindset now. Everyone should be prepared 2 weeks out. But he has the mindset, and he has the ability and everything else, and the grit and the want to do well in this tournament. You know what I mean? Like, he's all in. So it's a great tournament and a great format for him.
Yeah, obviously Team Ireland are going over to the IMMAFs in Italy on the 27th of September to the October the 1st. Kieran, for people just tuning in now, maybe just some of the athletes are on the squad have never been over, like Andrew, for instance, or people just tuning in now wondering what the IMMAFs are all about. Can you sort of explain to people what they should expect from Team Ireland at the IMMAFs on the 27th of September?
Yeah, like, say from Team Ireland, like, if you haven't been already, like, it's a tight knit unit, and when you leave your own country and you're all wearing the same tracksuits and everything else, you do regardless if you're fighting someone on a show in a couple of weeks' time or a couple of months' time, you all kind of gel together as a unit. So there's a really good sense of, like, camaraderie and say different coaches getting behind different fighters, and different fighters getting beyond maybe, or getting behind the future opponents or past opponents. So it's very, like, tight knit, and it's something special. It's something that you'd have to go be there to experience it and actually feel it, rather than try to put it into words. But it's the pinnacle of the sport, IMMAFs for amateur fighters.
Yeah, we've watched a few IMMAF events, and we love watching them. We think that it's great to see the nations come together. It's great to see an Irish squad travel over somewhere, and it's great to see such a strong Irish squad travel over there. We can't wait to see you guys go over there and do the business. Andrew, how important is it to you to have your SPG Tullamore teammates and Jordan Scully and Ronan Deegan go over there with you?
I honestly think, like, the lads, I appreciate being around them so much, because as a team, we've been training together. Literally, like, during COVID, we were out training in the park together when we weren't allowed to train inside. We were pushing each other all the way back then. We're pushing each other now. We're fierce rivals. Honestly, there's nobody that I'm more afraid of fighting than Ronan and Jordan Scully. Everybody else in the country seems like an easy fight in comparison. But having them there together, all together, pushing each other on, honestly, when we're in there, we're going to be trying to outdo each other. We're going to try to outperform each other in those fights, see if we can do better than the next person, because it's that push that makes world-class athletes.
It really, really is, isn't it, boss?
Oh, no, exactly. Like, we're obviously going to get into some of the squad members now shortly. But Kieran, how important do you think this is for the likes of the amateurs going over and competing in this competition and, like, developing before they eventually turn pro?
Oh, it's huge. Like, say, there's obviously different ways to to get the experience as an amateur and that. But I feel that with IMMAFs, a lot of the fighters that there's the most famous example is like say Jack Shore, Muhammad Makayev, and so on.
Yeah.
The fighters that like put in like a solid foundation and they get used to, you know, traveling, sleeping in a hotel, fighting different countries, different styles, different body types. That's all going to stand to you at pro. And if you're serious about, you know, getting to the UFC or one of the bigger organizations, I feel that if you take your time and you put in the groundwork and build a solid foundation, you know, it's going to stand to you as a pro. But you know, the biggest thing that I feel people kind of lack, not everyone, but you know, a lot of people might lack is patience. You know, you have to be patient and you have to trust the process, get as many fights and as much experience under your belt. And if you're serious about you know, eventually say fighting pro and making money and a career out of it, then you've laid a serious foundation, and hopefully you've made most of your mistakes at amateur. You know, so I think it's so professional. You know, when you go to IMMAFs, the people that are working there, they're either wearing, you know, the IMMAF gear, or there's people in suits. There's a strict dress code, and there's rules and code of conduct that you have to that you have to basically do, or you can't break. You know, you have to be, you know, sportsmanlike, and you know, all the things that come with, you know, the anti-doping and everything that's very close to like the Olympics, or even like say and like the UFC in a sense. You know what I mean? So you look at say Muhammad Makayev, for example, who's the most famous example. So he fought like 28 or 29 times, you know, as an amateur, and a lot of that was in IMMAFs. And then when he went to the UFC and he was staying in hotels and getting on airplanes and everything else, I'm sure that was just second nature to him. It was just normal. You know, so I think that there's a lot of stuff like that you can learn inside the cage, but also outside the cage by doing IMMAF tournaments.
Yeah, Ross, we're obviously big fans of Team Ireland as well. Another person who's done really well is Sean O'Bannon. But like Ross, looking at the squad now, is there any names that stick out, bar the king of hell, Andrew Barrett, and Kieran Davern for being a great coach?
Yeah, there's actually loads of people I want to see. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing Sinead Newlan after her performance in the Four Nations. I think she's really coming into her own. So I'm really excited to see her. Obviously, Jordan Scully is going to be an absolute monster. Jake and Guy looked great at the Nationals at the time. Really looking forward to seeing him. Obviously, the CMAC lads who split the gold in the Four Nations and at the Nationals. Let's see if they can be stopped on the European scene. Damien McKenna's got great hands. Like, I feel like I'm just running through the list of people who are going to grow everyone, but like they're absolutely
the
brilliant.
Irish team's getting better. It's getting better every tournament. You even look at the youths there. Like that was the highest level of you know, or one of the highest levels of an Irish team that's been to an IMMAF tournament, and it's like the seniors are following suit, and then the next time the youths come out, you know, they're going to be even better. And I think it's just as coaches and as a team, and just, you know, as the Irish MMA community as a whole, we're all getting experience, and we're getting better and better at, like, say, understanding what you need to win these tournaments and how to prepare for them, and the rule set and strategy, and, you know, how to deal with the week and the ups and downs that you come across just, you know, just being a combat sports tournament for the week. So I think everyone's getting the fighters are getting better, the coaches are getting better, and then obviously all the people in the background that are kind of like the admin people that are getting, you know, flights and different things that are booked. It's all just running smoother, you know, as far as I can see anyway, you know. So
yeah, I just wanted to touch on that, Kieran. Like, name wise, this looks like the strongest squad we've ever sent over.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think like this, like every division is like say has like you know, two fighters from Ireland, and either of them have a chance of, like, say getting a medal or winning gold. And I think now, well, I can only speak for my own lads that I train, but I think now it's just like keep the bulk of the hard work and preparation should be done. So it's just keeping the mind switched on, keeping the body fresh, not picking up too much injuries. And it's like, I know it sounds cliche, but it's like, you know, it's not.
Oh, I think
someone was trying to ring me there. It's 90% mental now. So yeah, you know, so I think we're going to come back with a lot of medals.
Yeah, it was probably Reds, or that's who I'm blaming.
Asked me to go for golf and pints, probably.
Tell us this though, Kieran. In terms of coaching, how much contact you have with maybe some of the coaches who aren't going to find out that bit more about their fighter, how you can maybe get into that fighter's head before they make the walk to the cage?
Yeah, I've been in obviously certain situations when I've been at the IMMAFs where I think the one in Abu Dhabi in January, I was out obviously helping out, and I had Jordan Scully there, and Andy Ryan couldn't make it, and he sent me a message and asked me would I help out with the Team Rhino lads, and you know, obviously I would. I'm friends with Andy and the Team Rhino lads. I got on really well with them, and he got me to. He asked one of the people that I was cornering was obviously Nadine, and I never cornered Nadine before. I cornered Jamie at that IMMAFs, and I cornered him at the one in Romania a few years ago. So I would have known Jamie's game a little bit more, but I wouldn't have known Nadine's game. And long story short, me and Andy were kind of like chatting back and forward, and I was like, you know what, he was telling me that basically her style is like jiu-jitsu, and she likes taking the back, and she likes to do certain things. And I was like, right, she's a jiu-jitsu girl. You know, I can kind of work with that. You know, as in like at least I have some understanding. We could sync up. You know, with jiu-jitsu and that. And I went down. She was the first fight that morning because she's like obviously one of the lightest weight there. And me and her were in the backstage, like say at 9 o'clock in the morning. And obviously she's tiny. She's about 48 kilos or something like that. And it was me. It was soaking wet. But it was me warming up with her, and obviously I was fucking like 90 kilos. And then like when I was kind of rolling with her and we were doing a bit like moving around just to get her sweating, I was like, right, this one's actually like fucking very good. You know what I mean? She was so slick. And we all just kind of synced up. And what's that?
Yeah, world champion, IMMAF world champion.
Oh, yeah, world champion. Yeah, but like say, I never met her before, and I never seen her game. And then when I was actually rolling with her, and I kind of experienced, you know, feeling her on the map for the first time, I was like, right, this one's slick. And then obviously went on to win the win the world championships and that. And that's a great little memory. Obviously, all I did was kind of held the bucket and just told her the time and whoever else. But she's a credit to Andy and all the lads at Team Rhino.
Yeah, you felt the backpack.
Felt the backpack. I couldn't shake her off.
Andrew, just to touch on yourself going over here, like 2022 has been some year for you. I think you've won 5 or 6 fights now, and like they've all been quite lopsided in your favor if we're calling a spade. Are you looking to make a name for yourself now in the European scene and really assert yourself as not only the best lightweight in Ireland, but the best lightweight in Europe?
Yeah, European domination and then world domination then after that. I don't want to just prove myself on the Irish scene. The Irish scene is obviously great and it has a lot of incredible fighters. But I think a lot of people are afraid to take that extra step out to see those different bodies, to see how people move differently. You can hear it in, you know, changing rooms. People are like whispering in the background, oh God, did you hear where he's from? Oh, what skills does he have? They're terrified that they're going to meet someone that they haven't felt before, or they're going to see something that they haven't seen before. I know I've seen everything in there. I've trained with everything. I fought every type of fighter. I fought the wrestler. I fought the submission specialist. I fought the striker. I train with the best in the country. So I know when I get in there, it's going to be all the same to me. It's just going to be another body, another great fighter, and I'm willing to put my game up against theirs and take out the best in Europe.
And tell us this, Andrew. Do you know what the record is for most amateur fights in a year? Because if you go and win the IMMAFs and then the fight in the Euro featherweight tournament as well, and go and win that as well, like you must be racking up close to 10 or 11 fights this year.
Yeah. And to be honest, I'm disappointed. I should have 2 more belts this year than I did, but people kept pulling out on me. For my last fight, I was as sick as a dog. I showed up to that fight because I don't pull out of fights unless it's a serious reason. I was sick as a dog for 2 weeks. I did no sparring for the camp. Kieran was confident in me. I was confident in me, and we stepped in and we collected another belt. The only reason why I haven't won 3 belts this year is because people keep pulling out on me. I had 5 pullouts in a row for those fights, and literally fights 3 days before up until a day before the fight. But at the end of the day, all that experience getting prepped for a fight is only going to stand to me when I step out there in the Euros.
Yeah, absolutely, Baz. We speak to the promoters of all these shows, and oh, jeez, I'm knocked over cans here and everything. And we always say, as soon as someone pulls out, me and Barry was like, "What about Andrew Barrett?" We love watching the fight, don't we, Baz?
Yeah, I think Andrew was on the show earlier, and he said he wanted to fight about 15 times this year, and I started breaking my shit laughing. But like, he's literally on track.
Yeah.
But
I'm on track.
They genuinely do. But you genuinely do. Like, and obviously I'm their coach and that, but I've rang them on, like, say, the night before a fight, like a Cage Legacy event, for example. Like him, Ronan and Jordan, like, say, they've accepted fights on less than 24 hours notice, and then the promoter might come back and say, "Oh, your man won't actually take it; he needs more time to prepare." And look, it is what it is. I'm not talking about the opponent. I'm talking about the lad's mindset. Jordan Scully got to show the opportunity during the year. He took a fight on Clanmores on 24 hours notice, and he obviously got the finish in the first round. But that's happened a lot of times with the lads where I'd ring them, a promoter would get on to me and say, "Look, if you got anyone at 66 or 70, I'd ring the lads." And I've done this to the three of them. Like I've said to them, there's a fight tomorrow night. I'm just going to use Cage Legacy as an example, and it's at 70 kilos. Will you take it? And most of the time, the lads just turn around and say, "Yeah, no problem." I'm like, "Do you want to know who it is?" And they're like, "Oh, who is it?" Or "No, doesn't matter. What weight?" And that's it. I'll check my weight. And that's the truth. I'm not just saying that to make it sound better. That's my experience, and it's a little glimpse into what I see going on behind the scenes. So yeah, no, it's unreal. It's a great trait to have.
Yeah,
We
I've
take the
literally
pie
been
out
told.
of our mouth. We take the pie out of our mouths. Put the pizza down for a second, and we go, "Oh, fight tomorrow." You had to tell me while I was eating food, didn't you?
You wait until you're eating.
There's a running joke in the gym. It's like if the boy, we have a WhatsApp group and everything else, for the MMA team, and we normally post into about training and techniques and everything else. And there's a joke in the gym. It's like if the lads see my name ringing and they have a fight, it means that there's a pull out or a change of opponent. Or if I'm ringing and they don't have a fight, it means that I'm about to give them a fight. And it's like, it's kind of true. Most of the time when I ring them, it's like, "Oh, your man's after pulling out." Or it's like, there's a fight next weekend or something like that. Do you want to take it? So it's kind of like a running joke in the gym, but it's kind of, there's a bit of truth behind it as well.
Yeah, in fairness, I've actually been made privy by one or two of the event organisers, and I've been told Andrew, but another fighter, that someone else's head coach said, "I'm not sending that fella in there to fight him." And one of the people was Andrew, and that's not even a lie.
Yeah.
So
it's great, isn't it? It's a good compliment, isn't it? It shows how hard he's working and how much he's put himself out there. And obviously we can only speak for our own team. I'm sure there's other teams and lads out there like that. But the lads are special, and like they're all in. Like they train like professionals. They work in the gym. Everything they do is to basically to make it to the UFC. And be the best. And for now, the goal is obviously to be the best amateurs we can, and obviously try win, or we will win IMMAF gold, say, along the way. And when it's time to turn pro and that, then we'll go on a tear then. But they're all in. They don't dip in and out. I've had lads over the years that dip in and out. Those lads are all in. In the pandemic, in fairness to them, there was a group of them, like they're all training down in the park. Do you know what I mean? Because the gyms and everything were closed. Remember at the beginning when it was we thought we're all going to turn into zombies. The boys were all training down in the park, and they just kept training going. In fairness to them, so they're all in and they never stop.
Well, Andrew's obviously a trailblazer in the Irish. I mean, and like some of the names that are talking across the bottom as well. There's a lot of talent, and like there's going to be like a lot of these are going to go pro in the future, and there will be names to be remembered. And you can see them perform on the 27th of September to the 1st of October, because we're expecting nearly everyone to get to the final. And it can be viewed on IMMAF.tv, Ross.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, before we do wrap things up, Andrew, I want to ask you, bar your two teammates, name me two fighters who you're looking forward to maybe getting a bit of training in with, and you're looking forward to seeing fight over there.
Well, we have a really good relationship with the CMAC boys, so I have to say, they've come down some of the Fridays and they've trained with us. So Kiko and Jordan Bradshaw, they're an absolute pleasure to train with. And again, there's very few real fighters in these country, but those two boys are real fighters. They'll show up on the night. Win or lose, they put their heart into it, and there's very few of those in the country. You could actually put that to their name, but you can put it to their name. Those two boys are top class fighters.
Absolutely. And then Kieran, to yourself, obviously we have 17 fighters coming over here. How many medals are you expecting Ireland to bring home?
10.
I love it. I think double digits is definitely achievable.
Definitely double digits. Look, I honestly, I like looking on paper. Like you see the killers that are in there. Like you have, like obviously I don't have the list in front of me, but just said likes of say Conor McCarthy, you have Jordan Scully, obviously you have Andrew, you have Ronan, you have Jordan Bradshaw, you have Kikyo, you have Sinead, you have like Damien. You've the whole thing is stacked. So basically, I can only go on like say their past performances and how well the lads the team have done over the last year or so. If their preparation has gone as good as our preparation has gone, I expect, like, say, you know, medals in every division or every other division, especially at the Europeans. Now the level's going to be high, but the standard of MMA in Ireland is super high. So I said it recently. I would put, like, I can only speak for my own team, but I would put our standard of MMA grappling or MMA in general up against any other country in the world, and you're going to see that in 2 weeks' time. So it's, you know, it's all well and good us saying on this interview and that, but I can't wait for everyone to see the preparation and the work that we've done for this. It's gonna be something special.
Yeah, we're not going to Italy to take part, Cosmo.
Yeah, and last time out at the Worlds, we got to the final as well. So I mean, like, if that doesn't put a rocket up your arse, nothing will. Lads.
Yeah, 100%. Not like a rocket up your arse.
No, guys, I absolutely love it. Look, we wish the best luck to all the Irish athletes. I'm sure we'll be in contact with all of them before they fly over to Italy. We have an absolute incredible team going over, and we have an incredible coaching staff going over as well. Yourself, Kieran, Marlene, and Liam from SPG Cork. We've got Jerry from Oma, Pat from Satori. I hope I've got everyone there. Oh, and Alexander O'Sullivan as well.
Andy and Paddy heading over.
Yeah, he said Paddy. Yeah, it's Kieran, Paddy, Jerry Poltrak, Alexander O'Sullivan, Patrick Sheridan, Limo Griffin, and Marlene Griffin.
Yeah, there's a good crew then. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, probably. I'm sure Sergey's going if Conor McCarthy's going. Is he?
Not maybe not in an official capacity, but he might be just heading over himself.
Yeah, deadly. I'll be good crew either way, anyway.
I say it'll be some session after with all them goals, lads.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. Well, you up Ireland and you up the SPG, ton of more, lads.
Deadly.
Thanks a million for coming on. If you have been watching this video, make sure to give it a like. We really appreciate that. Drop a comment below wishing the Irish team good luck. Make sure to share with all your friends. Hit a subscribe button because that helps us. And as always,
stay energized.
Energized show, up the Irish. Been sussing you guys a couple of times. I've seen a couple of clips. I think you done some interviews with Dylan Moran and that I saw. So keep going, keep up the good work, guys.